I'm doing something a little different with this video, showing one room getting built start to finish. The first thing was to get the floors in, and that meant a lot of cleaning. I used duct tape to get a visible idea of what I had planned. Duct tape would stay longer and survive the many stages between planning and now, unlike chalk or marker. This wasn't a single renovation though, so the framing, plumbing, and electrical were all done for the whole house at once, rather than just by the room. Check back on previous videos to see my comments on those. After scraping everything, vacuuming, and mopping, I could finally start on the tile work. This was actually the first room I did tiles in for this house, and it was the first time I really had tried to take tile work seriously. So this is not any sort of how-to tile video. So these are my tiles. I want to start on this wall and go that way, and I kind of want to start in the front corner here and go that way, so that partial tiles end up underneath washer and dryer and underneath cabinets, and then you see like full tile and full tile here. You know, I probably could snap this. Let's go get my snapping tool. I want to actually do a thing instead of just pretend I'm doing a thing. Dry fitting is just like, just pretend. If I actually get the tool and then use the tool, then I'm actually doing a thing instead of just pretending. So then we bring the wheel down into place. And we snap it. We'll have to be sure about making sure where our edges are snapping, because that flaked up a little bit there for sure. I used little rubber spacers here that I had left over from the previous house. This let me keep the tiles from bumping against each other and getting chipped. They're only 1/16 of an inch thick. I like really tight, minimal, clean grout lines. After dry fit, it's time for the uncoupling membrane. And this day was largely about educating Santa in new tiling processes. I remopped the floor while I waited for the thin set to slake. The thin set I used wanted to be remixed after slaking. I spent way too much time yesterday establishing this Sharpie line. So what you're supposed to do is squish it down into your subfloor first.
With a straight edge, or the two?
Yeah, with the straight edge. And you want to get it on thick enough that when you come back with your...
And you do the whole thing and then put this on?
No, you do a little bit and then check that you're getting good coverage, and then you do a bit more. So if you want to come have a look, you can see these are full height.
Yeah.
And then these are not anywhere close to that. I'm leaving a little bit more of this first process in because I wanted people to see that as fast as the tile guys seem to go all over YouTube, when you're doing this for the first time and you're new at this, you're not going to be fast, you're going to be slow, you're going to be going over stuff again and again and again, just like I'm going to be saying the same thing again and again and again. Hey, now grab the 4x4.
That corner.
Yeah, I know, grab the 4x4. You can use a trowel for this. I use a 4x4 because it's all I had. So then you squish this down best you can.
Is it supposed to be right down to the concrete?
You're trying to get it pretty squished, yeah.
So kneeling on it's not a problem then?
No, you can start work on this as soon as you're done laying it. So you can walk on it. And then you take a corner, you lift it up, and you make sure that you're getting, they want 95% coverage. I'm a little thin here, so. A little bit more here.
Can that be a function of the levelness of the floor?
What? That I didn't get enough
coverage there? No, thin set there?
No, it shouldn't be, because we're trying to squish this right down to it. Okay, then we roll that end up a little bit. Now, before you do, take that back down and check that end of the line.
Do you have a trowel anywhere?
For?
To get it out of the bucket?
This is a trowel.
This is a trowel. If you watch any of the live streams when Santa's around, you'll notice that he and I have a particular sense of humor that we're okay to use around each other. He's a big fan of what people call dad jokes, and that's usually just literally responding to what people literally say. So when he says something to me that's not making sense the way that he's intending it, he knows that there's a good chance I'll respond to what he's actually just saying. This is a trowel.
Squishy squish. Hurry hard.
I don't have to hurry. He said I could have.
I'm making a curling reference.
I know. You
So?
like to make curling references.
Hurry hard.
I don't know if you've ever played curling.
You don't play curling. You compete in curling.
Oh, even if you're not being competitive?
If you're not being competitive, you're not curling.
Somehow I managed to lose almost all of my tiling video. I spent probably 40 minutes looking for it across a bunch of different hard drives, and it was just gone. So here's the last tile going into place. There were a lot of things that I didn't know about tiling yet at this point still, so like I said before, and like I'll say again, this is not a how-to tile video. This is just what I went through when I was doing my first tiling in my first room that I actually cared about. One of the things that I did learn from this room was how fussy flat can be when you want to actually fuss flat. I didn't fuss flat in the subfloor here, and while it's not a bad tile job, especially compared to what's been going on in this neighborhood lately, it's not as good as I can get now. The last step in this tile floor was to put the carpet transition strip in.
One of the things I've been paying a lot of attention to when I go to other houses, open houses and stuff, is like how good is the tile actually? How perfectly does everything really line up? And it doesn't.
After tiles are laid, then it's time for grout. Here's me grouting.
Never needs sealing, easy to spread and clean. Fusion Pro single compound grout. I do know from past experience that this stuff does sit up pretty quick. Wipe this off in a bit of a hurry and then keep going.
I'm not sure if I've mentioned up until this point, but this isn't really a how-to video. One of the things that I didn't learn until later on was that the cleaner you can keep your grout lines before you actually go to do grout, the better your grout job will be and the easier your grout job will be.
Oh, that's nice. So if you ever want to test how well you set your tiles, slide a coin or something small and with sharp edges, so coins have fairly sharp edges, across your tile line. So like this one, it's perfect. This one, you can see it catch, you can hear it catch, and when you're sliding, it'll pop up. I learned that from Vanilla Ice, no joke.
If I ever decide to make a tiling how-to video, I'll be sure to include the step that shows what you can do to prevent having to clean out your grout lines before you lay your grout. All the YouTube videos I had seen up until this point included this process, this step of once your thin set is dry, then you have to go and clean out your grout lines. You can't actually clean the thin set away using a towel or a sponge or something before you set your next tile. I just hadn't seen anyone doing that until after I was quite finished with this tile job. The grout that I was using is very easy. You put it in, you wipe off the extra, you're done. It does want a week to set up for floor applications, but because my grout lines are so thin, I didn't have any worry that I was going to be stepping into the grout lines and causing any damage.
Oh, God. The underside of the base suspension rail should be 32 3/16 above the floor's highest point. And I can build the cabinets even if they don't get fully installed today. 32 3/16 from the highest point. So we need to find the highest point along here, which will be the lowest number. That's 46 and a bit more than a quarter, 46 and a quarter. So it looks like the highest point is about here. And I want it to be 30, what? Why can't I remember this number today? 32 3/16. I need to get down 5 more inches. Okay, That's not gonna get me 5 inches. You know, overthinking things gets a bad rap, and I'm not sure it deserves it. I think that's pretty close.
In the same way that this isn't a how-to tile video, this is also not a how to install cabinets video. I would actually like to do a how to install IKEA cabinets video sometime in the future, but for now I'll just say make sure you cut off the end of your support bar before you install it.
What we'll do is we'll cut the a little bit off of this end here, so I can try to get, you know what, I could probably just drill through that. Let's see if these can be 16 centers. Yeah, they can be. So it's a shame that they don't give you that starting point. I guess they wouldn't know which end of the wall you're starting on, and they wouldn't want to have like a left and a right side. You know what'd be great? If I had like a metal thing that would hold on to this. Like something I could attach to one of my rolling carts. Yeah, I need a better solution for this. Like I have a grinder, I just don't have any cutoff blades. And this one is definitely kind of tired. Oh good, I got a stud there. All right, one more.
There are a lot of things that you can do with IKEA cabinets to make the installation go a lot faster. While I mostly don't show them here, one of the things that you can do is use a nailer instead of the provided nails. The provided nails I'm sure do a great job, but they take forever. Another thing you can do that makes things go a lot faster is to get yourself a folding table and work from a standing height. It's much more comfortable, it's much easier, and it's much faster. Do be sure to square your cabinets before you start. Putting one nail in the corner will make it much easier to square the cabinet. And just ignore the part here where I decided I was going to be a real YouTuber and skip showing most of the work. I couldn't install the doors the same day as the cabinets because I went with a third-party custom door manufacturer. That was a horrific adventure for sure. At least a third of the doors had physical defects in the material themselves, and it took months and months and months to get them all sorted out. With any door cabinets, you're going to have to fuss them to make sure everything lines up nicely. Cabinet doors. I can't imagine even what a door cabinet would be.
So we'll just get them to the point where they can close, and we'll worry about getting it all lined up nice and neat later.
Suddenly, through the magic of editing, it was now later. This is me fussing the doors. This is another one of those things that the YouTubers really don't like to show because it's slow, repetitive, tedious, monotonous, fussy, finicky, painful work. It's one of the things that I derive a particular amount of satisfaction from though, because with this hardware, you can get things absolutely perfect.
So if we do get to installing these today, and anyone is around for that part still, make sure that Santa and I don't take these down in the wrong direction. Now we got a little bit of play there.
The term for that is foreshadowing. I get to say again that this is not a how-to video. This is just what I went through. And I actually did go through the process of fabricating my own quartz countertops.
But like, there's lots of room in behind. So I'm not too concerned that there won't be room for the faucet on either of these. So I don't want to go past these marks with my track saw. And I learned today that my idea of track saw, well, not exactly the same as what the people without CNCs use. There are machines that do exactly the same thing. They're just very much more expensive and probably, honestly, a little bit more rigid and stable. But they are just saws on a track.
I will be putting out a much more complete, this is what I did with my quartz sort of video, but this is a laundry room video. So I just wanted to show that, yeah, I actually did the thing. This is me doing the thing with the quartz, and it's a mess. I will say though that with the amount of grinding and polishing that the YouTubers do on all of their concrete surfaces, this actually makes a lot more sense. It's less prep, it's less time, it's a little bit more in material cost, but it's a far nicer finish. It'll hold up better in the long run, it won't need to be resealed all the time. People, when they go to look to buy your house later, won't be thinking, concrete, yep, that's a YouTuber thing. They'll be thinking, quartz? I love quartz, everyone loves quartz. Quartz is awesome. Where I live, you typically can't just go and buy a slab of quartz. Manufacturers only sell to distributors, and distributors only sell to fabricators. I was quite lucky that Santa actually knows a guy who is a manufacturer and a local distributor for this particular quartz. He was willing to sell it to me, and I will be forever grateful. Me being able to do my own quartz work probably saved me somewhere in the neighborhood of $5,000 to $10,000. Quartz fabrication costs are never small. It also gave me the opportunity to learn a new skill and buy a bunch of new tools. It was finally the excuse I needed to get that gosh darn track saw. I will go through this in more detail, but the process for finishing quartz is basically cutting out your hole, doing your rough shaping, and then going back with, for me, I use 3 different levels of grit polish. These all had to be done with water, not just for health reasons, but because the quartz will actually discolor if you get it too warm.
Okay, let's assume that we have picked it up and we spun it around so that the good edge is that way.
And the sink is there.
Yes.
Good, we're on the same
Okay,
page.
go.
Here we are. Are we going
Do you-
to carry it like this or like this?
We can do like this. That's one of the things we have to figure out.
Easier to get through doors.
Okay, go. Unless you want to take the up end.
Foreshadowing, remember?
So
We could arm wrestle for it.
you would lose.
Maybe with the right hand.
Okay, now with this, we have to be careful of this front edge.
Yeah. Boy, it's sure is light stone.
Yeah, funny.
Now we can get it in here,
Okay,
and we can get it on top.
yeah. So put it on top so we can get to there.
This is the front edge.
That's the front edge. It says E right here.
E for
Edge. Yeah.
There's 4 edges. Okay, so if we got it in this position,
Okay.
we could sort of.
Yeah, and we can keep going this way. And then we have to
Get it further.
get it a little bit further, and then like that. Now, the problem with that is these walls aren't very square. And we might chew up some of that drywall doing it that way, but it seems like it will be less work than moving this out and trying to get it in this way and then tilt it down.
Yeah, although we could do that if you felt more confident in that.
No.
Okay. You know, actually, this looks pretty good the way it is.
Yeah, thanks. You want to buy the house with it like that? You can have it. Do you want up or down?
I don't care.
Go to that end then. You take the up end. You will have to lift more, but that means I'll get more of the weight.
You know, when I bought these gloves and brought them in the first time, they were like new. Now they're not.
Cancer claps! Cancer claps! All right, thanks for the help.
Did you catch that? Yeah, that's gonna come back to bite me in the butt in a few minutes.
Speak up.
That's the wrong knee to do that with. So watch the edge at the step.
Hold them up down there.
I have infinite strength. Watch the top. Yeah. Whoop, there you go. I gotta switch hands.
Okay.
I'm going up.
Yep.
I don't want to slide it on this metal.
Yep.
Up, up.
We have done this wrong.
Do you want to take it out and flip it?
Well, the alternative is to let it go down like that, and that's going to be a bear.
All right, let's. Oof.
Watch your washer.
Let's set it down.
See? He even his back on it.
I know that.
See right there?
Yeah, I wrote that. This guy, though.
I can even read it backwards.
So if you want to roll it this way, you'll have to get past that post.
So you're gonna have to go down the hall.
Oh, that was close. Okay, ready?
You have enough space?
I can make space. And then you have to go back that way.
Been there, done that.
Okay, then go back that way. No, actually, don't go back. You have to go back that way. Do you want up first, or do you want me to up first?
I don't care.
Okay, I'll go first. Wait. Yep. Yep. Uh-huh. You got balance?
Yep. .85% of the way there. What are we doing?
I want to get that corner in a little further. Okay. Now we got to work this corner back.
Just so you know, it's not a good idea to get your finger between this and that.
Thanks. I had figured that out already.
Why don't you tell me?
You got a PhD, you're supposed to be able to figure that stuff out.
What it means is piled higher and deeper. I don't see any pile here.
I'm looking at one. Okay, down.
Oops. Whoopity-doo. So you install the sink from underneath.
Yes.
So here's the laundry room all finished and staged and painted and touched up, and even with the custom quartz sink that I had to build because I did the plumbing wrong. Hopefully in the next house I can get better footage and do better solo room projects like this into videos. Follow along on twitch.tv/moosedoesstuff if you want to see more of that.